Hi everybody, this is Howard, the Teaserking, coming to you with week 9 of the NFL. Not a huge selection this week. Last week I was 9-1, and I was, I think, 5-0 in the over-unders. I've been really getting creative with the over-unders and hitting them very hard, especially in college and in the pros. I'm picking the pros up a little bit more. I did have a lock last week, the under in the St. Louis-Frisco game. That was a lock that won. I had a lock in the over today on the TCU-Oak State game, and I got there at the end. They went for 2 on me, but I still got through on the pick 6. But that should have been over all the way, TCU. So I'm getting better at the over-unders with my new method of picking teams overs or unders, strong and weak. I now have a really good feel of the over-unders. So let's start with Oakland and Pitt. Pitt laying, I think it's 4.5 or 5 to Oakland. Over-under 48. Hard to play an over-under here. Pittsburgh, good defense. Offense, Antonio Brown and Roethlisberger. No Le'Veon Bell. He's probably crying tonight after Michigan State lost the way they lost. I know I am. Oakland, I love Murray Cooper and Carr. Carr's the real deal. Their defense seems to be playing well. As long as you have a quarterback, you can play dogs, and as long as you have a defense, you can play dogs. So either of these teams, you could play as the dog in this game. So I like Oakland plus 10.5 or 11. As long as it's over 10, it's a good play. I don't know if Oakland will win, but I think it'll be like a 24-23 game. I think it'll be close. And, you know, when you hear these announcers say stupid things like, oh, well, the game's on the East Coast, and Oakland on the East Coast is like 0-100, you got to ignore that because there's different factors and reasons. This is probably their first time playing East Coast that I can remember. They've covered every game but one in a teaser, and that was the opener against Cincinnati. With this team, with Carr and Cooper, they haven't gone East Coast. So it's like Manning going from Indy to Denver, or it's like Andrew Luck coming to Indy, or anything like that. You've got to retool your trend. I can't use Denver's trend with Tebow when Manning's there, and I can't use Indy's trends when Manning leaves. So you have to be very careful about that. So just, you know, with Carr and Cooper there, you can't say, well, they're 0-100 on going to the East Coast at a 1 o'clock kickoff time. It doesn't mean a thing. You just got to look at the matchup now, and I see this as a very close game. 24-23. I don't know who's going to win. I like the dog in the points. Jets laying 7.5 to Jacksonville. Over under 43, I believe, somewhere in that neighborhood. I can see this. I can see the Jets minus 1.5 is probably the play here. Jacksonville as a road dog is 12-1. So the last 13. This probably goes back 2 or 3 years. 12-1 as if you play against them as a road dog, which means they're on the road. They're the dog. Bet whoever they're playing. The Jets, as long as Fitzpatrick, and he's the lousy quarterback, but as long as he's the quarterback and Marshall's playing the defense, they should win the game, and you're only laying 1.5. Jacksonville, my mind still sucks. I'm not a Blake Bortles fan, and you know, it really cracks me up. These teams, they can't find 32 quarterbacks because they're looking at the wrong thing. They're all looking at, he's got to be 6'4". I can't bring in a Kellen Moore and a Chase Daniel and these guys that light it up in college because they're not tall enough. I mean, it's insane. Height has nothing to do with the position. If it did, then they wouldn't be good in college. So it's insane. They pick the wrong quarterbacks and then wonder why they stink and why they don't have a good offense. So Bortles to me still nothing. Fitzpatrick's nothing. There's a lot of guys better than him, but at this point, I just think the Jets, I like their defense, laying 1.5. Buffalo laying 3 to Miami. I kind of like the dog here, Miami in the 9. There's really not the head-to-head trend that I love because I do head-to-head trends first when they are in their own division. So Buffalo, Miami in their own division. The dog 6-1 is the only trend I could find. Small edge to Miami here. Over under 44, I don't know. I would think it'd be an under. Both teams are pretty well defensive. But definitely I think Miami and 9 is the way to go. New Orleans laying 7.5 to Tennessee. Play against Tennessee as a road dog, 18-1. I don't think I need to say anything else. New Orleans, I like this bet. I don't love it. I'm not locking it. I thought about locking it. I can't trust New Orleans defense yet. They're starting to play better against the Giants, who have absolutely no defense and a great offense, and it's 49-49. I think New Orleans wins. I think they, I'm glad the spread's 7.5. I can lay 1.5. I feel good under 3 here. Probably should be a lock, but at this point, Tennessee's coach is gone. Mariota, it doesn't matter. He's nothing. I just worry about New Orleans' odd defense right now. So this is a game they normally should win. They've been playing better. So let's take New Orleans as a home favorite. There used to be a great home favorite before, but once the coach left, the guy that the bounty coach, Williams, their defense hasn't been as good, and they let a lot of defensive players go. This is the NFL, so I can't really trust them to lock it. But I do like, I think New Orleans -1 at home against a weak Tennessee team wins. Tennessee's like 92% bet against overall. And here I'm telling you they're 18-1 play against as a road dog. But New Orleans, all right, here's the problem. New Orleans is a bet against home favorite is 10-1. That's why I'm not locking it. Which means this is if you bet against New Orleans at home like I did last week with the Giants, you win. So how can I lock a game where this team's 10-1 bet against, this team is 18-1 bet against? So I'm not going to lock it, but I definitely like New Orleans here. New England laying 14 to Washington. It's a tough one. I mean, it looks easy, but in the NFL, you start laying 14, you cut it to 8. I'm going to say, okay, as long as it's under 10, if you can get it down to a 12.5 or a 13 where you get 7 or under, then I like it a lot more. At this point, I like it. You can't go crazy with it. Over-under's 52. It's a high over because I can't trust Washington. New England could very easily put up, they could beat them 38-0. They could win 28 to, 17. It's hard to say. You're not stopping Brady at home, that's for sure. I mean, I like laying the 8, but it's hard in the NFL to bet too much on teams when you're laying more than a touchdown, even like New England, Washington. It's just psychological. The team doesn't get up. I mean, Brady, as mad as he is, and he's winning and covering every week. They've covered every week, especially in a teaser. The problem is Washington, how does New England get up for Washington? They got up for Miami. They got up for the Jets. Could be a lull. Trend against Washington is a road dog, 18-4, so they suck on the road usually. It's really 15-1 the last 16. So New England should get the money here. Again, I just think the spread's a little too high to lock it, and so bet New England, but not too strong. All right, Atlanta laying 7.5 to Frisco, over under 44. Now I know Blaine Gabber's starting, and he sucked at Missouri. This is the problem I have with these idiots that draft. The guy sucked at Missouri. Why would you think he'd be any good in the pros? I don't understand that. My logic is absolutely blown away, thinking that this guy who sucked in college is going to be great in pros, a la Christian Ponder, a la that kid on Kansas State he wasn't even the top 5 quarterback in the Big 12 that year. I can't think of his name, but he was terrible. So I don't get what they see that. See, they missed the point. It's does the guy win? That's who you draft, not the guy. Well, he sucked in college, but he's got the tools. He's got a big arm. It don't mean anything. He can't read a defense. He can't get away from the blitz. He obviously doesn't win in college, so why would you think he's going to win in the pros? So with that said, the problem is Atlanta apparently is terrible. I mean, look against Tampa last week. It was all they could do to get 20-20 and lose in overtime. I don't know what the problem is there with all that talent, why they're not scoring. Their defense seems pretty good. Frisco won't score a lot in this game with Gabbert, but you can score on kickoff return, you can score on interceptions, and they could play. Frisco's defense is okay. It's not the worst in the world, but it's pretty bad. What do I rate Frisco? I rate them as an under, very weak team. Atlanta I rate as I rate them as a strong team, but they got a good defense and a pretty strong offense, but I don't know if they're an over or an under. In this case, I don't think Frisco's going to score so much, so I think the better bet here is go under, take 44 to 50, go under 50 with the Atlanta game. I don't trust Atlanta the way they've been playing. I can't trust them to beat Frisco in Frisco. They should win, but I don't trust it. Gabbert's terrible. We all know he's one of the worst quarterbacks to ever play. I don't see them doing a lot, but I don't see Atlanta doing a lot, so therefore I don't think there's going to be a lot of scoring in this game, and that's why I like the under. So I think the best play is the under. Denver and Indy. Whew. I don't know. T.Y. Hilton was doubtful, but what does that mean? He'll take a shot and he'll be playing, so I don't know. Denver's laying 5 over under 45. I like this game probably over because I think it can go down to 39, and with Andrew Luck, he'll find other receivers. This is the NFL, so I think they'll score a little on Denver. Denver will score enough on Indy because Indy's terrible defensively. Again, I think Manning scores in the 20s. I can see Luck putting in, do what he did last Monday night, scared the hell out of me, but I had locked Carolina -1. I'm figuring 23-6. It's a W. The idiot misses the extra point, which is right at 16 instead of going to 17 and locking it up, or going to 18 and locking it up. So what I see here is, I think Denver's much better. In Indy, Indy's a strong home dog. Indy's 8-0 as a home dog. Denver's strong as a road favorite, 19-5. Manning doesn't lose and doesn't want to lose this game at Indy. So I think you can go either way. I think you can take Denver. You get a half a point or a point. I think Manning wins the game. I don't think Indy's defense can bother him enough. But I can't imagine this. This is like the Green Bay game last week with Denver going over. It got to 39, which was right at the point. I had a few 38s, and then it went up, and there was a few 40s. I see the same thing here, 45. You go over 39. Denver's defense is going to be a little different on the road than at home. And Indy should score. I mean, they'll have that dome advantage. So I like the over 39 also. I think it's either one. And you can see where I'm getting in the over-unders, looking at the quarterbacks, looking at the defenses. It just seems it's a better play. Can I take Indy in 11.5? Maybe, but I think Denver gets the win, but I think they'll be scoring in the game. And I'll give you the Monday night one, Chicago, San Diego. San Diego laying 4, the over-under 49. Trend-wise, don't really have anything here. San Diego's okay at home. Chicago's a road dogs, nothing to write home about. Do I want Chicago in 10? No. Do I want San Diego +2? Probably not. Keenan Allen's out, and Forte's out. But I think the play here is the over 49. You go over 43. I think this is the best play here because I just think San Diego's an over team. I didn't lock, but I had the over in the San Diego-Baltimore game. It ended up 29-26, like 55, and I think the over-under ended up being, after the teaser, like 44 or something like that. San Diego's an over team. They don't have a great defense. They got Phillip Rivers. They score a ton. Chicago scores. They don't have much defense. So you got two good quarterbacks, good offenses, with kind of weak defenses. 43, this is what I love about the pros. Today I'm sweating TCU laying 71 or 70 and a half in college, and they finally get there, but you got to wait till the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, unfortunately. But then, like in the pros, I just got to get 43. I mean, it's a joke. You don't need, both teams hit the 20s and you got a W, and I don't see how they're not. So I think the prudent play here is go over 43. I think that's a very strong play. Again, here's where I'm going with the over/under. The Bears in 10. San Diego could blow them out Monday night. San Diego +2. Well, they could lose. They're still San Diego. I think San Diego wins this game by about a touchdown, to tell you the truth. But that's not enough to make me want to play San Diego when I have the over option. So in other words, if San Diego was playing Tennessee, I'd probably lock it at laying 4. I'd say San Diego's gonna kill them. Or if they're playing Jacksonville, some of the terrible teams. But against a team like Chicago, who can score, who looks like they're playing better, who won at Kansas City, I can't trust that they're going to, it's not that big of a difference that San Diego's going to definitely win. I think this is more of a dog play, but I don't want Chicago in 10. So the over makes the most amount of sense. So that's the plays. I want to make a quick comment about Michigan State. I didn't like the coaching at all in that game. I don't know why Nebraska scores late, minute 40 left, they cut the lead to 5. I don't get why you run the ball into the line to use up timeouts. This isn't the NFL. Not only that, your defense really sucks. You have no secondary. This kid Armstrong is a good passer. So why in the world do you want to sit there and leave it up to your secondary? And then they still could have won, because if the kid holds on to the interception in the end zone, they win. But why do you want them to get down to the 20-yard line and throw the ball in the end zone? That doesn't make sense. So I thought it was terrible coaching, because you have Connor Cook. It's like having Tom Brady. Are you going to run the ball on the line 3 times with Tom Brady in a 5-point lead? You can say, you know what? Nobody can cover Gronk. Why don't we just throw a quick one to Gronk like we always do? Let him gain 5, 6, 7 yards. We'll do it again. We'll get the first down, and that's the game. So why not play to win? Why do you play not to lose? And I'm going to leave my weak defense to do it. Now, I had State over tonight, and I had State +2. But I won, but if they just kick the extra point or go for 2, I lose. Or if they'd have made the 2. And it shouldn't have got there. They had a 38-26 lead. What are you doing? So that's why I look at State as a very good offensive over team. They got a lot of scoring and a weak defense, and that's primarily what I'm looking for in an over team. So when they play other teams that can throw, like Nebraska, it makes it an easy over. So same thing here. Chicago, San Diego, Denver, Indy, the Giants, Tampa. A lot of these games are pretty easy over. If Washington had a better quarterback, that would be a lock over New England, Washington, but you can't trust them. So anyway, that's week 9. One note on my locks. I've hit 4 locks so far this weekend. I had Bowling Green, I had Temple, I had Notre Dame, and now the over in the TCU game. 4 for 4. I did a 4-team parlay on them. The 4-team teaser is beautiful. You just lock them. I did a 4-team teaser, and then I have 5-team teaser where I have my lock tomorrow. I have an NFL lock. You'll have to buy that one. I'm not giving it here. I got to put food on my table too. So basically, that's what I'm doing. And so I'm just incredibly hot on my locks. I don't know, what is that? It was 20-1, so now I'm 24-1, I believe. And I've never been in this galaxy before. Once I started the year 35-0, about 10 years ago, 12 years, like 2003. It's just, I just see it really well. The new over-unders, because now I'm locking over-unders, which I would never do, because I was never comfortable enough with them, even though they should be. And just seeing the team, I'm playing a lot more max, and Memphis and Western Kentucky and Louisiana Tech is my locks, because the bad teams are in their conference, like North Texas and New Mexico State and things like that. So I'm really just zeroed in on the locks. I'm kind of staying away from games that are tight, where I shouldn't play the game. So definitely looking much better. And again, hot as hell on the locks. So hopefully I win tomorrow's, and then I'll be 25-1. That's just the last 26. The whole year I've been hot on my locks. So I don't know. I'll have to do a whole year figure, but I don't know. Well, that's 24-1. I'm sure I'm in the upper 90% range right now. And anyway, so please go to the site, check the history. It's all documented. You can ask my customers. I'm not going to lie like this. I have no reason to. I know a lot of handicappers. Oh yeah, I'm 10 for 10. Yeah, and they don't tell you the losers. Well, that's why I list them on my site. Go to the history page. You'll see my locks. You'll see my losers and my winners. I lost with Duke today, and I lost with Western Kentucky today. So I don't win every bet, but my locks have been totally on fire, and definitely we're just zeroed in, and I'm in another galaxy way up there. So anyway, www.teaserking.com. Please feel free to ask me questions, and you know, you could buy the whole week for $150. You can just buy the locks. You can buy the month. I kind of reduced the price a little on the month, and then on the year, if you want to buy the rest of the year, I cut that in half, because obviously there's not 16, 17 pro weeks and the playoffs, so half the season's done. So I reduced it by half just to give people a chance to buy it. Maybe they can't afford the full amount, but at half of it, and you get the remaining week. So it's a real good investment, especially the way I'm hitting. It's definitely a recommendation. All right, everybody, have a great game. I hope you won all your bets today, and good luck tomorrow. www.teaserking.com.